Mike did a good thing, traded everybody on the Sixers. Now these trades are not, they're standalones, right? They're not conditional of the other trade. So they are as if they're the only trade that was made. So trade number one, the Sixers get Nick Batum and Terry Rozier. The Hornets get Tobias Harris, Zaire Smith, a top 8 protected 2023 first round pick, and the OKC pick. So one, how do you grade that from a Sixers perspective? And two, do you think it's realistic?
I've targeted Terry Rozier a bunch.
Yeah. That's a quote.
Nick Batum is
he's an expiring.
Pretty washed up.
Yeah.
He's expiring, but I think that they would probably like to get something out of him. Mm-hmm. I wonder if there's like a little, I don't know, the way that like Rudy Gay is like still fine as like a second unit. I wonder if there's like a little bit of that with Nick Batum, but I don't know, man. He hasn't been useful in a long time.
Yeah. The Sixers, they always get the best out of everyone too.
I'm really not as interested in trading Tobias Harris as other people are. I think the best version of the Sixers, now that I wouldn't have signed him to this huge contract, I wouldn't have traded for him, but the best version of the Sixers currently is Tobias just like continuing to get better and fit in better. Is it likely to happen? Probably not, but he's shown a penchant to improve, and his defense was better last year. I don't think that it is worth trading, because there's an argument to me that the Sixers Tobias is the best player in that trade. I mean, Rozier's a better fit for sure, but like you never want to trade the best player in the trade and extra picks, know?
Well, they
already signed him.
Yeah. He's a negative asset at this point, and to your point, I don't think he is negative. Trading him is not going to give you cap room, and he can certainly be useful for you in some way. So unless you're making a trade that somehow now I guess the question is, do you think they are better on the floor if the only thing that you do, like forget about the picks for a second, if the only thing you did was trade Tobias Harris for Terry Rozier and Nick Batum, do you think the Sixers would be better?
I think that they would need to trade Josh for a shooter, like a real shooter, but probably.
So then I think you would have to think about it.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's where I would sit on it. I agree with you in terms of like, you don't have to be so, I actually think they have to be more desperate with Horford, not because I think he can't play for them, because I think it's a sign that they have to give Embiid actually, but I think Tobias Harris can be a positive player for them, even though he's a negative contract.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I thought about when we talked to Ryan McDonough. They gave away Rashawn Holmes for cash considerations. Mm-hmm. He's become a very fine, just like roll to the rim big that can be okay enough on defense and block shots. He's certainly gotten better from his time here. And instead of developing him and keeping him for cheap and having him back up Embiid, they decided to let him go for cash and then give Al Horford as much money as they possibly could. It's remarkable. I mean, remarkable futility.
It is
on that front.
It is fun. It is fun.
There should not be a 0 to 100 back. It shouldn't be either Greg Monroe in a playoff game 2 weeks after you sign him or Al Horford for as much money as possible.
Yeah.
Like there's a middle there, and other teams have found it, and the Sixers decided the middle is stupid. We don't want to sign a backup center for like 3 years, $15 million. That's ridiculous. Let's instead either nothing or the most.
His second trade, speaking of Horford for Andrew Wiggins.
No.
Really?
Not a chance. It doesn't make them better. What does Wiggins do that would make them better? At least Horford is a serviceable backup center without. And again, you've already paid him the money.
Yeah.
Like he's already there. Like in a world where you need to check things off a box. You need to check, just like get them. Okay, we don't have that. We don't need that. We don't need that. Like this would add another unchecked box. and be even clunkier, remarkably more clunky, if they find a way to do it. Maybe Embiid loves Wiggins because of their Kansas days together. I don't know, but he's not good. He will occasionally do impressive stuff, but guy's just not a good basketball player overall.
Trade 3. I'm sort of like in between on it. I feel like you got to. I don't know what the Horford market is, and I feel like you probably got to trade him. That Wiggins contract is, boy, having the Wiggins contract and the Tobias Harris contract is just really just impressive in some way, I think. Yeah. But trade 3. Sixers send Josh Richardson to the Pistons, and back they get Aaron Holiday, Doug McDermott, and the 54.
The Pacers.
Oh, yes, the Pacers. Aaron Holiday, Doug McDermott. He wrote Pistons, but it is Pacers. Aaron Holiday, Doug McDermott, and the 54 pick.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. Yesterday. Yeah. Anything.
Yeah.
They like Aaron Holiday, though. I don't think they do this trade.
Trade 4. I don't know. This one's boring. It's a Mike Scott trade. Who cares? Let's go to trade 5, which the Heat would not do. But Joel Embiid for Bam Adebayo, Andre Iguodala, Kendrick Nunn, and their 2023 first-round pick.
The Heat absolutely do this.
No, they would not.
Yes, they would.
There's no chance. Zero.
Yes, they would.
Zero chance. They wouldn't
trade. They know how good you need to be to win a playoff series. They would like in a high level. Bam is great. I love Bam. I kept him in the execs league last year. And then John Gonzalez laughed at me, and he had a great season. And then John Gonzalez single-handedly derailed the league, so I wouldn't win.
That's why I left the league after I won it.
He started coronavirus, so I wouldn't win the execs league. But Embiid he's just a head and shoulders. His upside is just like the best. Embiid is a better defender than Bam. Interior, he's obviously Bam is a little better on the perimeter, but I think Embiid in a Miami Heat conditioning program could be better than that, and also Embiid is worlds better as an offensive player.
So
I think that they do it.
I
wouldn't do it because I obviously love Embiid, and Kendrick Nunn is domestic violence. I'm not interested.
All right, do we have to whatever? I don't feel like getting into that. I don't think either team would do it, to be honest with you. I don't know that we have even when players improve as much as Bam Adebayo has. I don't think we really know what their ceiling is, and I think there is some thought that Bam Adebayo is like close to his ceiling or something. But there's so many things he could add to his game, and he's so much better at things now than he was even a year ago that I don't think either team would do it, to be quite honest with you. So I wouldn't do it if I was the Sixers, because I don't think Bam Adebayo can be the best player on a championship team, which is the only thing that I would. And he's such a bad fit with Simmons that I don't like. I just don't think it would work. But and the 2023 first round pick, Miami doesn't really tank out too much. Nunn is a useful player, but he's not a starter, I don't think, on a championship team. So, and on Iguodala is certainly a wait for the playoffs player at this point in his career. Ben Simmons trade. The Sixers get Zach LaVine, Kobe White, Tomas Satoransky, and a top 8 protected 2021 first round pick for Ben Simmons.
No.
You're not a Zach LaVine guy, right?
I've never been a Zach LaVine guy. I think Kobe White's could be pretty good, but I'm not a Kobe White guy either. Some people are like really big Kobe White guys.
I'm iffy on him. Satoransky is nice. Useful.
Yeah, for sure. But I just don't think that's. I don't think any of those. The sum of their parts, I don't think equal Ben Simmons.
I mean, I would do it. I like Zach LaVine a lot. I think, if you're betting on the Bulls, the 2021 first round pick, like they've been shitty. There's no evidence they won't be shitty. I think maybe Ben Simmons raises their floor to a 35 win team or something, but well, no, I mean, like they have a shitty team. It's not like you put Ben Simmons on a shitty team, all of a sudden he's not LeBron. LeBron went to a shitty team 1 year ago, and that team didn't even make the playoffs. So I don't know.
He hurt his groin.
What's that? He hurt his groin for the last 25 games of the. I mean, they weren't making the playoffs when he hurt his groin either. Yeah. So I don't know. I think you're getting two playable guards in Satoransky and Levine, a possible future super playable guard, and probably a mid first round pick in 2021 when the cap is all fucked up anyway for Simmons. I don't know. I think it's a fair trade. I would say I would do it. Luke Kennard for Matisse Thybulle and Shake Milton.
I like Luke Kennard a lot.
He's good,
but I don't do this. No, it's he's expiring first of all. Mm-hmm. Or I'm pretty sure he is.
I'll look it up.
And Shake is excellent. Like,
I agree.
It is. The idea of giving both Shake and Matisse for a guy who I believe is expiring.
I'm looking it up now. He's actually got he will be a restricted free agent. Now, look, I would say this is not a bad time to get a restricted free agent in that it's not like Luke Kennard's going to come in and demand $20 million a year. He's probably
for sure. But Matisse and Shake are under team control for so long still.
Yeah,
that it really is kneecapping you.
I think like Luke Kennard is obviously good. He was hurt a lot last year. I think I would trade Thybulle for him if that was it. I would not trade Thybulle and Milton for him.
Sure.
Especially with what Milton showed him what they need. And then finally, Furkan Korkmaz for Khem Birch, who you like, the number 45 overall pick, and a 2022 second round pick. I would not.
No, I mean, in a world where the Sixers had a lot more shooting and not Al Horford, then sure. Khem Birch has always been for me the kind of guy that says like, hey, you can find backup centers kind of everywhere if you are good at this. And I wouldn't ever really. There's not that many centers I would draft in the first round. Embiid is obviously one, but Cody Zeller. I'm not a James Wiseman guy. People are talking about him as like a top 5 pick. I don't think he does much. And so there's guys who are just like, hey, well, if they're not like a game changing center the way that Embiid is, and I would now add Bam, that kind of thing, then you can take a swing on guys to be like, hey, maybe they'll figure it out and just kind of be lunch pail guys and be big enough to come in and absorb fouls and contact and protect the rim for 15 minutes a game, late in the second round or undrafted or whatever. And so, but we need Korkmaz more than we need another backup center.
It's funny you said in a world where he had a lot of shooting. You could also say in a world where Furkan Korkmaz isn't the Sixers' best 3-point shooter.
That's right.
Yeah.